Howdy folks, it's Alice here, and welcome back to Vampyr. Last we left off, we were jamming to the tune's soundtrack right now. But we met the leader of the Escalon Club, we met the most wealthy person in London and maybe all of Britain, Aloysius Dawson, and now he wants us to talk about...
I think Lord Redgrave just suggested I was sired by an ancient vampire.
You don't say. Alright. Excuse me. May I have a word?
Good evening, miss. Can I help you? I'm a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reid.
I am Karina Billow. I don't need any doctor. The rats. Where are the rats?
Miss, you don't seem well at all. Are you afraid of rats? Has one bitten you?
No, it's me who bites them. Tasty, juicy, disgusting rats. I can't stop eating them. Help me, please. Help me to disobey the voice.
Oh boy. Go check out.
Can I help you, Miss Billow? I'm a doctor.
The rats. I need them.
Oh my goodness. What happened to you?
What happened to you?
The rats. The answer hides in their little crunchy bones. Their juicy, tiny brains.
Miss Billow, please, try to concentrate.
Golly, her face and her
Why
eyes.
do you worry about rats so much?
The voice in my head. He forces me to do so. Drink their blood, he said. Eat their flesh.
Two different eye colors? Is it green and blue? Stop moving around. You feel compelled to obey.
Do you feel compelled to obey that voice, Miss Billow? Even if you're loath to submit to it?
Yes. Please. Help.
Tell me about the voice.
Tell me about the voice in your head. Who is it? Can you describe it? Is it someone you know? Someone you met?
Keep your mouth shut, he said. Don't ever speak about me, or I'll abandon you. Help me, please, Doctor.
Abandon you? Don't you want? Isn't that what you want? Tell me about the neighborhood.
What is the local news hereabouts, Miss Billow?
Shadows. Shadows hunting shadows. Whispers in the dark. Pestilence. Suffering. Death.
She's not wrong.
Tell me about yourself, Miss Billow. What do you do for a living?
Oh, I'm hungry. Need to eat. Have you got something for me? Blood, perhaps? Can you give me blood, Dr. Reid?
Don't you remember who you are, miss? What you did for work?
I was strong, proud. I campaigned for good causes. But that was before. Before. It does not matter anymore. I'm so hungry.
Alright. No hints things. What about... Let's ask about infections.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual recently?
Infection. Infection. The rats carry it, I heard. Rats. 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 Many rats around that big house. Funny smell, too. Dead flesh.
And where is this house?
West of the park. Not very far. A big house with no sound, no light, no life left.
Okay. Nothing left really left to talk about, really.
I must go now. Goodbye, Miss Billow.
Alright, so that doesn't give us anything really to talk about, but there's Karina Billow and her very messed up self right now. Okay. Offices to let. One of the side quests we have is to find a restaurant to recommend. Alright, how's this going? Can unlock this. This leads to the docks. Yeah. Definitely not this way. Anything over here? It's white paint all over that. It's the back of some place. Yeah, so there's nothing around here. I don't need to grab anything out of a trash can right now. No. There's some. We can't go in here. Knock on the door, see who's home.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Jonathan, is that you? I did not know you were back in London. Oh, my dear Johnny. I'm so sorry for your loss. Mary was such a sweetheart.
Thank you, Venus. May I come
Venus, that's
I
right.
was going to bed, actually.
Sure.
in? I'm sure you can spare me a few minutes. For old time's sake.
Of course you may enter, Jonathan.
Feel gross about that.
Always welcome here.
But I'm not gonna.
But at this
I just
hour
wanted
of
to
night,
ransack the house and ask you a bunch of questions. I'm not in the business of doing anything naughty.
At least you survived the Great War. I feared the worst.
Right. Alright, let's just take what we can. Alright, I need to ask you about the infection and stuff.
It's a pleasure to see you again, Venus.
So you returned from the war in one piece too. Thank God. My Clarence is back home too.
How is the old rascal?
Probably outside, chasing ghosts and chimeras. Clarence has changed a lot since he returned from the war, you know.
Yeah, so... How have you been?
How have you been since the last time we met? How long has it been? 3 years now?
I've done my duty, like all British women. You have no idea what it was like to wait for months without knowing if I'd still be a wife or a widow.
I understand. Luckily, this part of town has been saved from the worst of the bombings, from what I've seen.
Yes, and it's also true about the epidemic. The flu has killed here too, of course, but not on such a large scale as in other parts of town.
Have you noticed anything peculiar about the neighborhood recently?
You mean except for your return to town? No. Oh, and again, Jonathan, please accept my condolences for your sister.
Thank you.
Thank you, Venus. It was so sudden. And I've been so busy, I haven't spoken to anyone about it.
I wish I could have assisted at the funeral, but you know, it's been so quick. And what with the epidemic in the streets?
There's no need to apologize, my dear. It's normal, considering the circumstances.
No, it's not. I am sure that Clarence has not even thought to present you his condolences. He is too busy with his penny dreadful stories.
Ha! Penny dreadful stories. Great. How are you? Are you sick?
Do you need my medical attention?
No thanks, Jonathan.
Alright. Back to... about the
Have you noticed-
neighborhood. How's my return to surprise?
Why is my return so surprising?
It's more an unexpected happy end than a surprise. You and Clarence, back from the war. You have no idea how hard it's been for me.
Alright. We'll get to the reputation of the family here in a second. I wanted to talk to you about other stuff. Sure, we'll ask you about this.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual?
The McPhersons. I heard they locked themselves in their own house.
They could just be afraid of getting sick.
Perhaps you're right. But if I were you, I'd pay them a visit. A big house, reachable through a courtyard, to the north of the railway bridge.
Alright, so things seem to be pointing to McPhersons. Alright, about the reputation of your family.
Venus, why do you worry so much about your family's reputation?
Everyone laughs at Clarence now. And they avoid me because they believe I share his insane opinions. I'm a leper in my own community.
Alright, really nothing else to talk about. So, see ya.
Goodbye for now.
At least you survived the Great War.
Alright, got anything upstairs? Anything we can put our hands on? Oh, he has a nice little hat. A bowler hat, I think those are called. Alright, Venus' journal. Oh, we're reading this stuff now. Oh, well, look at that. But it gives us something new to talk about with Clarence, apparently. Maybe. Are these ever comfortable? I don't think they are.
It's locked, all right.
So it's seeming like that the only way to like get locks to certain things is by it's an assumption I'm making. I haven't looked up anything, but I'm guessing based off of mechanics in the game that you don't get access to everything that a person has unless you kill them. Because alright, what's going on here? How do I... Excuse me. Is there a point to this? Can I, like, close the door? Maybe there's a way... This is like a way... creepy way up here. There we go. For, next time... Alright, where are we? Are we near where we need to be? Emily's house is close by.
No invitation is needed to enter this building.
Oh.
That can't be a good sign.
Oh.
No sign of a struggle. It seems Charlotte's friend knew the killer and let him in.
Alright. We'll read this because it's pertinent to a quest. Alright. My dear Jacques, can't wait to see you again tonight, tomorrow. I can hardly wait. We kissed on that bridge while the moon was so bright in the night sky. I want to feel your teeth again on my lips. You're shooting pain. Sweet bite on my neck, you devil you. For the longest second ever. I feared you were going to kill me right there on the bridge in the middle of the night. No, my dear Jacques, you remain the delicate fiancé I know you are, and you're really teasing me. Can't wait to drink your blood for good this time. Come back to my sweet friend Charlotte as an immortal. To play with her a little first, of course, like you taught me how to play with mortals, and then I'll turn her into one of us too. We will rule the nights of London and cleanse the city of its impure souls. Faithfully always, Emily.
Emily wanted to become a vampire. Something must have gone wrong. Someone is responsible for this mess. But who?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely gone wrong. Alright, well, let's have a look at this.
Blood. I should follow the trail.
It leads outside. So I can't go anywhere else. I have to go back out. Now there's blood. Blood. Blee! Alright. Alright, let's have a look. Oh, it leads to the docks. Dangnabbit, I want to go to the docks today. Uh-oh. Is this where, like, Wolfie is? Oh, there's a skull there. Not a very nice one. Not telling me what that one is. God. Where's the blood lead? Does it lead that way? Alright, so we gotta go that way. Alright. Alright, dude. Let's go, you weirdo. Take him down. Alright, get your stamina back before you do anything rash. Alright, who we got here? This is Vampyr right here. You son of a gun.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
I could ask you the same question.
I'm the Marquis de Bois-Colombes. and I strongly invite you to find your own game, sir.
I'm not here to sustain myself. I'm currently investigating the death of a young woman killed by a vampire.
A young woman killed by a vampire? Oh, you're joking, right? Oh, I do love the British sense of humor.
Who are you?
And who exactly are you?
I am Jacques-Michel Guillaume Florimond de Marquis de Bois-Colombes, at your service, my dear cousin.
Are you French? He is most definitely French. Very French. Could be Belgian, but he seems very French.
You're French, but your English is quite good.
I was born in France, sir, but I consider myself a traveler of this world. So many countries, so many tantalizing tastes.
Dear cousin, are we related?
We could be of the same blood, my dear. I tend to consider all Econs as family, don't you?
Yeah, definitely not.
What are you doing here?
I recently decided to visit London. I've always dreamed of visiting a city on the verge of collapse. Such a delicate, yet intense spectacle.
You take pleasure in other people's misery.
You take pleasure from others' misery.
I have been a totally depraved and immoral creature since the day I was reborn, sir. And probably before.
So, French. That's a joke.
What do you plan to
Calm
do
down.
here?
Take pleasure. Take pictures. Enjoy the show. Have fun. Believe me, I won't be the only foreign immortal who bought a ticket to the fair.
I followed the trail of blood from her room to here.
Oh, you're referring to that young woman. Yes, the meeting turned messy. I'm afraid I ruined my last redingote.
So you admit you murdered her?
I admit nothing, my good sir. I only regret the blood of that girl staining my clothes. Oh, blood can be so messy.
What happened?
She wanted to become one of us. Not the first time I have received such a proposal, but I must admit her direct approach tempted me.
And then what?
Her body rejected my blood. It happens, you know, sometimes even with voluntary prey. At least her gurglings brought me some fun, until the artery burst.
So, do we believe him or no? He seems like he doesn't. He's not a liar. Like, he's very upfront about what he is. He's very French, right? He's very upfront about who he is and what he does. So we're gonna believe him, but maybe we still doesn't change the fact that we should probably ask him to leave or else.
I believe you, sir. Emily's diary confirms your statement.
Oh, Emily was her name. Quite charming. Well, mystery solved then.
Yes, I suppose so. You can go.
And so can you. Farewell, sir. May you enjoy the spectacle of this fallen city as much as I do.
Our friend's not gonna be happy. Oh, and he's still going at it. Great. Alright, yeah, Charlotte's not gonna be happy. Not at all. She'll probably not like us even more for the fact that we let him go. Might have a feeling from like the unlock thing that it was going to be reach the second source, reach the first source. There's more than one source of infection, apparently. Let's have a talk with some people and start the clearance. Start the clearance again. We had a new
Good
hint
evening,
since last we talked to him.
Are you all right?
I won't lie to you, Johnny. I'm not a well man.
Yeah, he has a migraine that we can't fix yet. Can we talk to you about anything else? No. You just have one hit. Alright, let's ask about the local source of infection.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Can you help me?
Infection is everywhere these days. But if you ever go to the park near that swanky house belonging to the Mullaneys...
Yes? What about the Mullaneys? What about their house?
Not enough noise for a big family with children. Not enough movement. Closed doors. What is going on in there? I wonder.
Okay.
You need some rep.
Alright. Does that update our thing? No. It's probably...
Women of all countries, unite!
Alright, Charlotte, we got some bad news.
Good evening, Miss Ashbury.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reid.
Let's ask about...
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual recently?
A few days ago, I spotted a strange house while campaigning for women's suffrage. Awful smell. No answer when I knocked.
Where is it?
It's the Mullaneys, a nice family who live in a big house near the park in the eastern part of this neighborhood.
Alright, so just confirming what we already know. Alright.
I have found out what happened to your friend, Emily.
I can handle the truth. There's no need to hide the bloody details.
Your friend was planning to become a vampire. She thought she'd met an honest one and made a deal with him. Unfortunately, Emily did not survive the process.
My mother told me many times about the risks of being turned. I often suspected she exaggerated the danger to avoid me being tempted.
No, the risk is real. Have you any idea what a body has to endure to become an organism entirely consumed by its need to process and recombine blood?
I should never have talked to Emily about vampires. I never thought she'd actually try it without me. Thank you, sir. Here, take this for your discretion.
Oh, she got her own, she has a stake. Don't you need that? Alright, so...
Goodbye, Charlotte. Give my best regards to your mother when you see her.
She's been quite busy these last few nights.
Yeah, it's like see her before we do. Alright, I'm gonna look at... this stake. So we can upgrade it all the way to level 5. We need a good dagger. Okay, so it's a dagger that's already level 3. Okay. For the details. Alright, oh, this is already fully upgraded stake. So does that mean we can, like, sell off the other stake? I don't think we can... Pruin stake. Sure, why not? I think anyway. So I think those are the only two things we got. Next thing... To find an exceptional restaurant. Oh my gosh. Search a surprise for the gourmet. We have 3 places that we could go to. Interestingly enough. Weird. Alright, so there's that place over there. Haven't been over here at all. Alright, we'll talk to...
Good evening, Dr. Reid. A great night, what?
It's so weird that he says it like that. A great night, what? Alright, let's talk about local sources.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual?
Not really. Wait, now that you mention it, I don't see the McPhersons in my favorite restaurants. They love delicate meals too, you understand.
Thank you. It may be nothing, but I'll investigate anyway. Where do they live?
They have a house in the southern part of the district, somewhere north of the railway bridge. There is a courtyard, if I remember rightly.
Alright, so...
Goodbye, Mr. Russell.
Yeah. I'm sure Mr. Russell has...
Don't let any strangers come into your house.
So you're just
Have you
knocking
noticed
and
anything suspicious recently?
knocking on someone's door and telling them that. Oh, we can just come in here. Oh, this is... What? Wait, what? Wait, what? Since when? Who told us this? Oh, that's right. This is our house. Is it our house? Is it the bum's house? Oh my goodness. This is a bad idea. Alright, hang on.
Good evening, Avery.
Mr. Jonathan, I can't believe my own eyes. Oh, it's a miracle. We all thought you were... Oh, sir, your poor sister. What a tragedy.
I know, Avery. I know about my sister's murder.
Miss Reid expected you to return to assist with the funeral, right up until the last minute. Where have you been, Mr. Jonathan? We needed you here.
How is my mother?
Not well, I'm afraid, sir. Miss Reid is very fragile since the police brought her back home.
The police? What happened?
Miss Reid was found walking in the streets. She kept saying she had spoken with her son and daughter. She's resting now.
Oh boy. Did she receive any care?
Has she received appropriate medical care?
I'm taking care of Miss Reid myself. Hospitals are so overwhelmed by the epidemic that they can only accept patients infected by influenza.
Alright, Avery Cork.
Perhaps we could arrange a short trip. Somewhere sunny, like France. She has always been very fond of France. I think leaving London could do her good.
I'm afraid Miss Reid is too frail for the moment. Recently, she started going out at night without remembering it. I have to watch her carefully.
Oh boy. Alright, let's have a look at you.
Do you need medical attention, Avery?
Thank you, but I'm all right, sir.
Alright.
Goodbye.
Dagnabbit. I did not want to do that.
Yes?
Alright. Life in London.
How is
Not
the police?
Miss Reid.
Okay, I don't know why that was highlighted. Mary's funeral.
I'm sorry I could not be here for Mary's funeral.
Your mother was strong, sir, but your support would have been appreciated. Apart from the priest and I, no one else attended your sister's funeral.
To be present at the funeral with you both was my dearest wish, Avery. But I am sorry, I simply could not attend.
I would not dare to question your absence, Mr. Jonathan. All I can say is that we missed you a great deal during these difficult days.
What is the situation in this part of town?
For a time, the West End seemed spared by the epidemic. But the situation is getting much worse.
Have you no relatives anywhere? I'll understand if you want to take a few days to see family.
Your father managed to guarantee my earnings as long as I take care of this house, sir. My sisters are dead, and I've never met my nephews. I'll stay, sir.
Alright. Alright.
I'm currently investigating sources of the epidemic in this part of town. Do you know anything useful?
Not really, except all the Macphersons' servants resigned a few days ago. They feared becoming infected, they said.
The Macphersons? Where do they live?
I think it's a rich house near the...
Yeah, no railway district part of the thing. Alright, let's talk about leave if you could.
Tell me the truth, Avery. Do you feel forced to stay here? Would you leave this house without the arrangement made by my father?
No, sir. I have nowhere else to go. And I promised your father I'd take care of his family as long as I live.
This house is dead, Avery. There is a curse on this family. You really should consider leaving.
If only you could have been here sooner or more often. Maybe this house would not be that empty. But you're here now, sir. So my task is not over.
Serve this family excellently. I'll understand if you leave.
Do you need medical attention?
Dagnabbit. I messed that up. Alright.
Tell me that
No,
this house...
If
Alright. Alright, so we can say you serve this family excellently. I'll understand if you leave. Yeah.
You have served this family extremely well, Avery.
I didn't think it
Your
would mean...
support
God,
during these terrible times is much appreciated.
Then I will stay. All I ask is that you take care of my own funeral if I die before the end of the epidemic. No mass grave, please, sir.
So, I didn't think that would, I didn't think that was like a choice of having him leave or stay. I don't know. I don't know which would be better. But having him along to take care of the house and our mom would be good, so.
Do you really think I don't take enough care of my mother, Avery?
Yes, I do, Mr. Jonathan.
You clearly have something more to say. Speak your mind, Avery.
I know you work hard to help the sick, but what will you do once the epidemic is over?
Not my home anymore. Home is here. Yeah, I mean, really don't know.
I really don't know. I have always enjoyed seeing new horizons. Once the epidemic is over, it would be nice to leave London for a while.
I understand, Mr. Jonathan, but you have to realize that your mother needs you. Your next departure could break her heart.
Alright, so apparently we need a hint from another source to talk about.
Goodbye,
Then
Avery.
the last thing.
Please watch over my mother until I return.
Of course, Mr. Jonathan, but please return as soon as possible.
Alright, camera. Gonna herky jerk thing. Alright. I love that there's a squeak sound effect. That's just made my day. You've made my day, Avery. Gonna listen to that all day. Alright, how do I get... Oh, that's right, this is a separate room. So I gotta get upstairs by going and doing... Old letter. Alright, as I already told you several days ago, I may be forced to leave England, if only for a few months. While I'm away, and then until my son comes back to London, I want you to take best care of our house. I already made the entire necessary arrangements to have your wages increased and paid as long as you'll work. You promised me you'd protect my dear wife and serve her to the best of your ability. For that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. If I will never to return, you're the only man I fully trust. Leave me your most affectionate friend, Aubrey Reid. That's dear old dad, I'm assuming. Alright. So, we will head upstairs and talk to Ma, next time. So, till next time, this has been Zethias signing out for now. Bye, folks.